Hey, Celtics Nation! We're back with an exclusive video and the latest updates on our beloved Boston Celtics. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. This way, you'll always stay up to date and never miss out on any exclusive news. There's a growing buzz around the NBA and, more specifically, around the Boston Celtics that's been making waves across social media platforms, basketball forums, and inside sources that have close ties to the league. Sam HAUSER, the Celtics' sharpshooting forward, seems to be at the center of an emerging storm, a situation that insiders suggest could lead to a significant shakeup within the team's roster. Over the past few weeks, whispers have been circulating that HAUSER's performance, his contract situation, and the Celtics' ongoing strategic adjustments might make him a candidate for a trade package that could bring in different assets the team is targeting. The Celtics, known for their methodical approach to roster management, appear to be weighing options that could involve parting ways with players who, while talented, may not align perfectly with the long-term vision of the coaching staff or the front office. HAUSER, who has shown flashes of brilliance with his perimeter shooting and floor spacing capabilities, has become a talking point not because of lack of talent, but because of the complex calculus that defines modern NBA team building. Some sources suggest that rival teams have already started quietly reaching out, testing the waters to gauge what it might take to acquire a player like him, a process that is usually shrouded in secrecy, but inevitably leaks through trusted channels. The rumor mill around Boston, already sensitive due to the Celtics' consistent playoff contention, has added fuel to the fire as speculation about potential trades intensifies, creating a whirlwind of excitement, concern, and anticipation among fans and commentators alike. Meanwhile, HAUSER himself seems to maintain a low profile publicly, offering no definitive statements that could confirm or deny the swirling stories. Behind closed doors, league executives, agents, and Celtics management are reportedly engaged in preliminary conversations that could set the stage for a significant mid-season move, a decision that could redefine the Celtics' offensive strategy and long-term roster composition in a matter of weeks. As the NBA landscape continues to shift, HAUSER's name is increasingly mentioned in speculative trade scenarios, prompting analysts to dissect the team's priorities, salary cap flexibility, and the potential domino effect such a trade could trigger across the league's competitive balance. The buzz isn't just limited to media outlets. Social media platforms, especially Twitter and Reddit, have become arenas where fans dissect every minor detail, from HAUSER's recent shooting splits to subtle hints from coaches during press conferences, trying to piece together a narrative that might signal his departure or retention. All this speculation has created an atmosphere of suspense, as the Celtics fanbase braces for potential turbulence in a season that could still hold championship aspirations. As the rumor gains traction, basketball insiders point out that HAUSER's versatility as a forward who can stretch the floor makes him a highly attractive asset for multiple teams looking to enhance their offensive schemes without sacrificing defensive capabilities. Reports suggest that front offices in several contending franchises have quietly analyzed HAUSER's advanced metrics, including shooting efficiency, spacing impact, and defensive plus-minus, to evaluate how he might fit into their respective systems. These teams are not only considering the player's on-court production, but also factoring in contractual elements, trade exceptions, and future draft pick implications, all part of the complex chess game that characterizes NBA transactions. The Celtics management, meanwhile, is reportedly studying similar scenarios, weighing whether retaining HAUSER aligns with their championship window or if leveraging his value could accelerate their trajectory toward acquiring a marquee talent or addressing other roster deficiencies. Sources close to the situation emphasize that while HAUSER's skill set is undeniable, the decision to potentially move him is more about strategic fit and long-term planning than any dissatisfaction with his play. Analysts speculate that a trade involving HAUSER could involve a combination of young talent, draft picks, or complementary veterans, though precise details remain tightly under wraps. The uncertainty surrounding his future has already begun to influence discussions within the Celtics locker room, as teammates and coaching staff navigate the delicate balance between maintaining focus on current objectives and preparing for possible roster changes. Additionally, league insiders note that timing will be critical, with certain trade windows offering better financial and strategic advantages, potentially prompting accelerated negotiations in the coming weeks. Fan reactions, meanwhile, are mixed, with some expressing concern over losing a reliable shooter and floor spacer, while others speculate optimistically about the potential assets the team could gain in return. Social media chatter has been intense, featuring debates over HAUSER's contributions versus perceived trade value, and speculation about which franchises might be willing to part with significant pieces to acquire him. Amid this swirling cloud of conjecture, the Celtics' public messaging has remained deliberately vague, reinforcing the perception that the story is still unfolding behind closed doors. Observers are left parsing every comment from team officials, every transaction hint, and every performance nuance as if reading an open book of possibilities, fueling an atmosphere of tension, anticipation, and unrelenting intrigue surrounding HAUSER's potential departure. Sources suggest that one of the driving forces behind the speculation is the Celtics' need to optimize salary cap space while simultaneously ensuring roster depth, an intricate balancing act that requires careful calculation and sometimes difficult decisions regarding popular or productive players. Sam HAUSER, despite being a key contributor in certain rotations, represents a unique combination of trade value and contract flexibility, making him a prime candidate for scenarios where the Celtics might seek to upgrade at a different position or acquire a player with complementary skill sets that align more directly with the team's strategic blueprint. Industry insiders note that discussions about HAUSER's potential trade value have intensified following certain in-game performances, particularly games where spacing, shooting consistency, and defensive matchups highlighted both his strengths and limitations within Boston's system. Agents representing HAUSER are reportedly monitoring the situation closely, exploring interest from other franchises without necessarily making formal overtures, a common tactic designed to maximize leverage while maintaining player morale and organizational control. Observers point out that if a deal were to materialize, it could have a ripple effect across the league, influencing other teams' roster decisions, salary cap maneuvering, and trade strategies, especially among those in close competition with Boston for playoff positioning. While rumors alone don't guarantee a transaction, the consistency and specificity of leaks suggest that this story is more than casual speculation, representing a calculated scenario being considered in multiple front offices. Basketball analysts on major networks have begun including HAUSER in mock trade scenarios, debating the pros and cons of moving a versatile forward in exchange for draft picks, young prospects, or veteran players capable of impacting the Celtics' rotation immediately. The fanbase's reaction has been just as animated, with online polls, discussions, and commentaries dissecting potential outcomes, weighing loyalty to current players against strategic ambition, and pondering how such a move could influence championship contention. Behind the scenes, the tension is palpable as team executives, scouts, and advisors analyze everything from HAUSER's advanced stats to intangible contributions like locker room chemistry, leadership presence, and adaptability under high-pressure playoff conditions. Every detail, from shooting percentages to contract clauses, is scrutinized, and insiders suggest that even minor developments, injuries, team performance fluctuations, or external interest could tip the scales in favor of a trade. While nothing is official, the air of anticipation surrounding HAUSER's potential exit is undeniable, creating an environment where rumor, strategy, and fan speculation converge into an ongoing narrative that dominates Celtics discourse in real time, capturing attention across every platform and conversation thread, making Sam HAUSER a player whose future might redefine not only Boston's immediate fortunes, but also the landscape of potential NBA trade machinations. As the Celtics front office continues its deliberations, the conversation around Sam HAUSER has grown even more intricate, layered with strategic considerations that only insiders can fully comprehend. Sources suggest that multiple franchises have now expressed discrete interest, signaling that HAUSER is far from a peripheral player in trade discussions. The intrigue revolves not just around his shooting accuracy or ability to stretch defenses, but also around his contract's relative affordability and the potential for a team to leverage him as part of a larger trade package. Analysts have started mapping out potential domino effects, calculating which teams might be willing to part with high-value assets in exchange for HAUSER, and what that could mean for Boston's depth chart, rotational strategy, and overall championship aspirations. Within the locker room, whispers abound, with teammates subtly adjusting expectations while coaches navigate how to maintain focus amid speculation. The media frenzy has also escalated, with pundits dissecting game film, scrutinizing split stats, and debating how HAUSER's departure might affect Boston's spacing, perimeter threat, and offensive rhythm. Social media platforms are awash with fan-generated trade scenarios, mock lineups, and heated debates, some imagining blockbuster swaps, others cautioning against moving a sharpshooter who has become a familiar piece of the Celtics puzzle. Even subtle gestures, HAUSER's interactions with coaches, media soundbites, or changes in rotation minutes, are magnified, analyzed, and discussed endlessly, feeding the rumor mill that seems to grow more relentless by the day. Meanwhile, rival teams are reportedly accelerating internal discussions, reviewing how HAUSER could integrate into their offensive schemes, testing the boundaries of potential negotiations, all while keeping moves as discreet as possible to avoid alerting Boston to the full extent of interest. Amid this swirling storm of speculation, insiders insist that every detail counts. A minor injury, a sudden change in performance, or even an unexpected trade elsewhere could become the tipping point that turns rumors into reality, leaving fans and commentators alike on edge as the story continues to evolve with each passing day. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the industry. Insiders have also begun pointing out that HAUSER's potential move is emblematic of the modern NBA's transactional nature, where roster composition, salary cap dynamics, and tactical flexibility often outweigh sentimental attachments or fan loyalty. According to sources, the Celtics management is weighing the timing, financial implications, and strategic impact of a trade with painstaking attention, considering whether moving HAUSER now could position the team more favorably for the playoffs, or whether retaining him might provide a more stable, consistent offensive presence. Observers note that the calculus is far from simple. HAUSER's shooting creates spacing that benefits stars like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, but his trade value could allow Boston to acquire a player with complementary skills or future assets that accelerate championship ambitions. The discussions reportedly involve complex permutations, including multi-team trade possibilities, salary matching requirements, and potential inclusion of draft picks or other movable contracts, each scenario carefully simulated by front office analytics teams. Analysts speculate that the Celtics' willingness to explore HAUSER's market value could also signal confidence in their system's adaptability, indicating that other role players might step up to fill gaps if a trade occurs. Fan speculation online continues to grow, with detailed breakdowns of potential lineups, shooting distributions, and defensive rotations, all trying to predict how HAUSER's departure would shift the team's identity. Media insiders emphasize that such rumors, while not confirming action, reflect serious strategic considerations that teams weigh continuously, highlighting the delicate balance between long-term planning and immediate performance pressures. Meanwhile, the uncertainty has created a tense, yet electrifying atmosphere around Boston's games, with every minute HAUSER spends on the floor now subject to scrutiny, interpretation, and rumor-based analysis, further intensifying the drama surrounding one of the Celtics' most versatile forwards. The combination of statistical insights, contract considerations, and fan speculation has made HAUSER the epicenter of a narrative that could define the franchise's next moves, ensuring that every press conference, social media post, and insider report is dissected for clues, fueling a rumor-driven saga that shows no signs of slowing. Whispers from league insiders indicate that the potential trade of Sam HAUSER might not just be a matter of immediate roster adjustments, but could have long-reaching effects on the Celtics' positioning within the Eastern Conference hierarchy. According to sources, the team is simultaneously evaluating which positional needs are most urgent and whether HAUSER's departure could free up both minutes and financial flexibility to pursue those objectives. Analysts suggest that a trade could involve players who provide a combination of defensive versatility, secondary scoring, or complementary shooting, aligning with Boston's broader game plan. The narrative unfolding in the media and among fans has created a dual focus: speculation on HAUSER's future and the strategic implications of any potential acquisition, both of which are dissected through statistical models, advanced analytics, and traditional scouting assessments. Coaches and front office executives are reportedly running simulations and predictive scenarios to understand the ripple effects of moving HAUSER, factoring in everything from team chemistry to playoff rotations. The rumor mill has escalated as insiders share details about discreet calls between agents, rival executives, and Celtics management, suggesting that interest in HAUSER extends across several competitive franchises, each weighing the value proposition. Fans on social media platforms are dissecting every word, post, and interview, theorizing potential trade partners, and even crafting mock schedules that visualize HAUSER in alternate jerseys. Media coverage has intensified, creating a narrative that blends fact, speculation, and conjecture into a continuous story that dominates conversations about the Celtics. Even small developments, like shifts in HAUSER's court time or subtle remarks during press interactions, are magnified, generating new layers of discussion and hypothesis. Amid this complex tapestry of rumors, analysis, and anticipation, HAUSER's name has become almost synonymous with intrigue in Boston, with every detail of his performance, demeanor, and contract potential being scrutinized for clues about the team's next strategic move. Observers suggest that this saga, still unfolding, encapsulates the tension, uncertainty, and excitement inherent in NBA roster management, creating a scenario where rumor, speculation, and strategic calculation intersect to generate one of the most talked-about narratives of the season. Sources close to the Celtics hint that if the team decides to engage actively in trade talks, the timing will be critical, potentially synchronized with upcoming trade windows, playoff seeding considerations, and the availability of desirable assets from other franchises. Analysts emphasize that while the rumor itself has captured public attention, the underlying strategic reasoning reflects a meticulous approach to team building, where every potential move is evaluated through layers of performance metrics, financial modeling, and scenario planning. HAUSER's ability to shoot from range, space the floor, and contribute in multiple offensive sets makes him a valuable piece not only in Boston's rotation, but also as a trade chip capable of attracting high-quality assets in return. Sources suggest that Celtics management has been quietly surveying the landscape, gauging interest from teams seeking to add shooting, floor spacing, or wing depth, all while maintaining the appearance of strategic ambiguity to maximize leverage. Observers note that rumors of this magnitude often precede substantial moves, though not every whisper translates into a transaction. Yet the consistency of leaks, the specificity of insider reports, and the convergence of multiple sources lend credibility to the narrative. Fans have become highly engaged, analyzing potential outcomes, debating optimal trade partners, and speculating about the potential impact on Boston's playoff hopes and long-term trajectory. Analysts on sports networks are increasingly featuring HAUSER in mock trades, exploring scenarios that could reshape the Eastern Conference landscape, while also considering the broader implications for player morale, locker room dynamics, and the Celtics' identity. Social media discussions continue to amplify every nuance, from shooting splits to court chemistry, creating an ongoing dialogue that blurs the line between rumor, informed speculation, and anticipation of a potential blockbuster decision. In this charged atmosphere, HAUSER's future remains uncertain, fueling discussions that combine basketball analysis, fan passion, and the ever-present drama of professional sports strategy. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.